All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to do lesson 7.3. If you remember, on Monday we did 7.1, which was using graphing to solve for that ordered pair that would be a solution to both equations. Remember, when we have two equations, we call it a system of equations. And I need to know the x and the y that I can plug in for both equations to solve. So on Monday, 7.1, we did graphing. We put the equations in y equals mx plus b form. We graphed each line, and where the lines intersected was our solution. Yesterday, Tuesday, we did substitution. All right, that was the second way we could find the answer. We would get one variable by itself, y equals or x equals, okay? And then we would plug that into our other equation for that variable. Solve for x or y. Once I got that number, I'd plug it back in, and I would solve the other side of the equation, okay? And today we're going to learn our third and final way to solve a system of equations by doing elimination. So we've learned graphing, substitution, and now it's elimination. Okay, example 1. First of all, the main thing you need to know about elimination is you have to be able to cancel something out for it to work. Cancel something out. When I mean cancel something out, when you add them together, they should equal 0. Okay? So usually, or always, it's going to be the exact same number, but one is positive and one is negative. 3 plus negative 3 is 0. Those would cancel out. 2 plus negative 2 is 0. Negative 2 plus 2, 0. Okay? That's what I mean by cancel out. So what you do whenever you have a problem like this is we're going to make it one large addition problem. I'm going to put my line underneath it, and I'm going to look. I'm going to look at my x terms and my y terms, and I'm going to ask myself, do one of these sets cancel out? What about negative 1 and positive 1? Will those cancel out? Yes, it will. So what I can do is I can cancel those out and just solve the equation for y. So I'm going to add 2y plus 6y, which is 8y. You see how we're just doing an addition problem straight down. Negative 8 plus negative 16 is negative 24. Okay, now I have 8y equals negative 24. Can I solve for y? Yep. Tyler, what am I going to do?
Divide by 8.
Divide by 8 on both sides. And what does y equal?
3.
What kind of 3? Negative 3. Very good. Okay. Am I done? Is this my final answer? No. I need to plug it back in to solve for x. Now, it does not matter which equation you plug it in for. You can plug it in for either one. You should be able to get the correct answer either way. So I'm going to plug it in the first equation. Negative 1x plus 2 times negative 3, because I'm just substituting that y in, negative 8, okay? Negative 1x minus 6 equals negative 8. Add 6 to both sides, because all I'm doing now is just solving for x. Negative 1x equals negative 2. Divide by negative 1 on both sides, and I get x is equal to positive 2. So now I have my final answer. I'm going to write it as an ordered pair, and that would be my answer. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. We're going to do it the exact same way. I want you to look at these equations, the system of equations. Do you see any terms that will cancel out?
Yes.
Yes. Jensen, what are they?
Positive 3y and negative 3.
Exactly. This time, my y's are going to cancel out. Now, this is one thing that I forgot to tell you when we were doing the first one. These you never want to cancel out. Now, they can add together and give you 0, but you never want to cancel those out. You're always either trying to cancel out your x or your y, because you're basically trying to get rid of a variable. That's why you cancel it out. Okay? Manuel, what would I do now that these cancel out?
Add 4x and 2x.
Which is? Very good. Now what am I going to do, Anna?
You're going to add 16 and 8.
Which is?
24.
Very good. Okay, Betty, what am I going to do now?
You divide 6 on both sides.
Very good. Divide 6 on both sides. And what does x equal, Samantha?
X equals 4.
4. Very good. Okay, I've got part of my answer. Now, Dean, what am I going to do to find the other part of my answer?
Plug in 4 to where X should be on.
Exactly. I'm going to plug it into either one of these equations. It does not matter which one. So I'm going to plug it into the first one. 4 times, I'm going to plug in 4 for X, plus 3Y equals 16. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3Y equals 16. So I have to subtract 16 on both sides, because remember, I'm just trying to solve for Y. So I get 3Y equals what? 0. Is that okay if we have a 0? Yep, it's just fine. Divide by 3. What's 0 divided by 3? 0. So my ordered pair is 4, 0.
If you would have gotten the other one.
You would get the same answer as if you would have plugged it in. So let's plug it into the other one. So let's say I wanted to plug my X into the second equation. I would have done 2 times 4 minus 3Y equals 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 3Y is equal to 8. So I subtract 8 on both sides. Alright, so we subtracted 8 on both sides. Cancels out. And I'm left with negative 3Y equals 0. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. I still get Y equals 0. So you see, you can plug it in for either one and you should get the same answer both times. Alright? I want you guys to do this one on your own. Alright, Mackenzie, tell me, what did you do first? Very good. You want to cancel out your Y's. Charles, what do I do now? Alright, what am I going to get? 7x equals 14. Perfect. Add 4x and 3x. I get 7x, 2 and 12 is 14. Hannah, what am I going to do now? Divide both sides by 7. And what does x equal? Samantha?
X equals 2.
Perfect. X equals 2. Megan, what am I going to do now? Plug it back into either equation. It does not matter which one. Haley, which problem did you plug it into? The first one, okay? So that's what we're going to do. 4 times 2 minus 2y is equal to 2. Elizabeth, what would I do now?
Multiply 4 times 2 and you get 8 minus 2.
Very good. Multiply 4 times 2, get 8. Jason, what should I do now? Subtract 8 on both sides. Tristan, what do I do now? Very good. Divide by negative 2. And what is my answer, Hunter?
3.
Positive 3. Very good. I would write my answer as an ordered pair, which is 2, 3. Okay? Okay, so we've done elimination where 2 terms cancel out. But what happens when my system of equations does not have a term that will cancel out with another term? That's what we're going to work on in this example, example 2. Okay? I've got to look. Will my x's cancel out? No, because I have a 2 and a negative 4. Will my y's cancel out? No, because I have a negative 3 and a 5. So what am I going to do now? What you're going to do now is you can ask yourself, okay? Is there something I can multiply by one or both of these terms to make it cancel out? Okay, let's ask ourselves this with the x's. Can I multiply something by 2 to make it a 4? Yeah. What can I multiply by 2 to make it a 4? 2. Now, I don't want to multiply it by negative 2 because remember I want it to cancel out. So one needs to be positive and one needs to be negative. Since the bottom is already negative, the top needs to stay positive. If I do that, that means I have to multiply everything in this equation by 2. If you multiply one thing in an equation, you have to multiply everything in an equation. Now, I don't need to do anything to my bottom equation because it's staying just like it is. I'm only changing my top equation. So my new equation is going to be 4x minus 6y equals 8. Now do I have something that will cancel out? Yes, the negative 4x and positive 4x. So I can solve it just like I did my other problem. 5y minus 6y is negative 1y. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. Divide by negative 1, and what does y equal? 0. I have to plug this back in, and this time I can plug it into any one of these equations. It does not matter which one. You can plug it into first, second, or third. You will get the same answer no matter what. So I'm just going to plug it into the first equation. So I have 2x minus 3 times 0 equals 4. What's 3 times 0? 0. So I'm just going to cross it out. And I have 2x equals 4. I need to divide by 2 now to solve for x. And I get x is equal to 2. So my ordered pair would be 2, 0. So what happens, again, when I don't have terms that will eliminate, and I have another problem? Let's look at this one. I have 3x and 2x. Can I multiply 3 by something to make it a 2? No. Can I multiply 2 by something to make it a 3? No. All right, let's ask ourselves about the y. Can I multiply 4 by something to make it a 5? No. Can I multiply 5 by something to make it a 4? No. Okay, so I've got a problem now. This is what you do. If I were you, I would always look for the terms that are already positive and negative. That way I don't have to deal with any positive or negative signs when I'm multiplying. They're already there for me. I know they'll cancel out as long as they're the same number. So I ask myself, is there a number that I can make both 4 and 5 by multiplication? Yes. What is it? 20. Very good. So I ask myself, okay, what do I need to multiply 4 by to make it a 20? 5. Whatever I do to one thing, I have to do to everything in that equation. What do I need to multiply 5 by to make it 20? 4. Whatever I do to one thing, I have to do to everything in that equation. Now you say, hold on, you can multiply by different numbers? Yes, as long as that equation, the one equation, is being multiplied by the same number. The second equation, you can multiply by a totally different number. All right, let's write our new equations. I'm going to have 15x plus 20y equals 30. And then I'm going to have 8x minus 20y equals negative 76. Now do I have something that will cancel out? Yes, I do. The 20s. Okay. What's 15x plus 8x, Elizabeth?
23x.
23x. Very good. What's 30 minus 76, Seth?
40, negative 46.
Very good. Negative 46. What would I do now, Autumn?
Divide by 2.
Very good. Divide by 23. And what does x equal? Negative 2. Very good. All right. Am I done? Is this my answer? Nope. I need to plug the 2 back in, negative 2 back in to any one of these equations. I could plug it in the first, second, third, or fourth. It does not matter. Okay, I'm going to plug it in the first. 3 times negative 2 plus 4y is equal to 6. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 plus 4y is equal to 6. I'm going to add 6 to both sides because I'm trying to get that y by itself. 4y is equal to 12. Then I divide by 4. And Tristan, what is my answer? Y equals 3. Very good. If I write it as an ordered pair, it would be negative 2, 3. All right? I want you guys to do this one on your own. Tyler, what should I do first?
You should find a way to make two numbers cancel out.
Okay, find a way to make two numbers cancel out. Perfect. What am I going to do to make those two numbers cancel out?
Multiply the 6 by 3, and then the negative 3 by 6.
Okay, raise your hand if you did it this way. Raise your hand if you did it this way. Okay, Tyler is correct. You can do it this way, but there's also another way to do it. Okay, you can also erase this here. How many of you multiplied the bottom equation by 2? Okay, you could have multiplied this bottom equation by 2, because what would that have made negative 3x? Negative 6x, which would have canceled out. But Tyler multiplied it and made them both 18x, a positive 18x and a negative 18x, and they canceled out. Guess what? You'll get the same answers. Okay? You'll still get the same answers. Is there anybody that did something other than those two methods? Anna, what'd you do?
I multiplied everything on top by 9 and the bottom by 6.
Okay, multiplied everything on top by 9 and everything else by 6, because what she did here was she canceled her y's out. However, did you make one of them a negative?
One is
The 9 or the 6? Because if you look, both of these signs are positive. So unless you multiply by one of them as a negative, they're not going to cancel out, because it'll be positive 18y and positive 18y. So you got to make sure you do that if you do that way, okay? So I'm going to multiply by 2 on the bottom, since that's what most of you did. I'm going to rewrite my first equation, which is 6x plus 2y equals 2. My new bottom equation is going to be negative 6x plus 6y is equal to negative 18. Cancel out my x's. 12y is equal to, I'm sorry, not 12y, 8y is equal to negative 16. Divide by 8 on both sides, and y would be equal to negative 2, okay? You should still get the same answer as if you would have done 18 minus 18, and that would have canceled out. All right, now that I have what y equals, I plug it back in. I'm going to plug it into the first equation. 6x plus 2 times negative 2 equals 2. 6x minus 4 equals 2. So I add 4 to both sides, and I get 6x equals 6. Divide by 6 on both sides, and x is equal to 1. Write it as an ordered pair, which is 1 comma negative 2. All right, that's how you would have done that problem right there. All right, so the last thing that we're going to learn to do is, we've learned, okay, when I see two terms that can cancel each other out, I cancel them out and solve by elimination. When I don't see any terms that cancel out, I need to figure out what can I multiply either one or both equations by to get them to become the same number to cancel out. Now, what do you do whenever your like terms are not lined up properly? Because remember, you cannot add or subtract terms unless they are like terms. So that means they both have to have an x, or they both have to have a y, or they both have to be numbers without a variable. Okay? Your form that this problem or these problems should always be in is x, then y, then the equal sign, then a number by itself. I'm just going to put a number sign because obviously the numbers always are different, okay? So it should always be x first, then y, then the equal sign should come, then the number by itself. So let's look. Is this first equation in that form? Yep. So there's nothing I need to do to it. However, is this second equation in that form? No. What do I need to move to put it in that form? Negative 5x needs to go to the front of the equation, and it's going to pass through the equal sign. So what do I need to do to move that negative 5x? Add 5x. Very good. It cancels out. So my new equation is going to be, the first one is going to stay the same, 3x plus 2y equals 8. But the next one, okay, is going to be 5x. Then what is 2y, positive or negative? So I'm going to put a plus 2y equals 12. Now are my like terms lined up?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Do I have anything that will cancel out?
No.
No, I don't. But do I have any terms that have the same number?
Yeah.
Yes, look right here. Now, they don't cancel out because positive 2 and positive 2 is 4. But what could I multiply one of these by to make them cancel out? Negative 1. It does not matter if you multiply everything in the top by negative 1 or everything in the bottom by negative 1, as long as you do one equation by negative 1. So my new equation is going to be negative 3x minus 2y equals negative 8. Now my y's will cancel out. 5x minus 3x is 2x. 12 minus 8 is 4. So I can solve the rest of the equation for x, and x is going to be equal to 2. Now, I can plug this x in for any one of these x's. I've got 5 different equations. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You should get the same answer no matter which one you plug it in for. Okay, let's plug in x. All right, we're going to have 3 times 2 plus 2y equals 8. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract 6 on both sides, and I get 2y is equal to 2. Divide by 2 on both sides, and y is equal to 1. So my ordered pair would be 2, 1. All right, I want you to do this one on your own. Make sure your like terms are lined up, okay? Make sure your like terms are lined up. Then you have something that eliminates. If you don't, you need to multiply it, okay? Multiply everything in the equation by a number. If you have to multiply more than one equation, do that. Cancel it out and solve for both variables. Okay, Megan, what did I have to do first? Okay, I need to put the first equation in the correct order. Very good. What do I need to do to put it in the correct order? Very good. Oops. I need to add 6y to both sides. So now I have 3x plus 6y is equal to 12. Is my next equation in the correct order? Yes, because I have negative x plus 3y equals 6. Okay, it's already in the correct order. What is that number in front of that negative x? 1. I would go ahead and write it if I were you. Do I have anything that will cancel out? No. Mackenzie, what did you do to make them cancel out?
On the top, I multiplied by. On the bottom, I multiplied by 6.
Okay, Mackenzie said on the bottom she multiplied everything by 6. Okay, and on the top she multiplied by negative 3. What she did there was her y's are going to cancel out because this is going to be negative 18 and this is going to be positive 18. Okay, that's one way to do it. This is another way. How many of you multiplied the bottom by positive 3? Okay, this was another way to do it because this is going to make this a negative 3x, which will cancel out. If you did it Mackenzie's way or you did it this way, you should still get the same answer. It would not matter. Anybody else do something different? Charles, what did you do? All right, he multiplied by negative 2 on the bottom. Very good, because what that was going to do is that's going to make this a negative 6y, which would cancel out. All of these ways are correct. You should still get the same answer. So let's just say we multiplied everything on the bottom by 3. My top equation would still be 3x plus 6y is equal to 12. But my new bottom equation would be negative 3x plus 9y equals 18. This would cancel out, and I would get 15y is equal to 30. Divide by 15 on both sides, and y is equal to 2. Then I plug it back in. Any one of the equations will work. So I'm going to do 3x 3x plus 6 times 2 equals 12. 3x plus 12 is equal to 12 minus 12 on both sides, and I get 3x is equal to 0. Divide by 3, and x is equal to 0. Okay? That's how you do solving by elimination.